Hi and welcome to The Winning Factor. I'm Alan Aitken, and on this show each week we take a look at some upcoming races in Hong Kong and try to sift out a key ingredient to the race that we might look back on later as having decided the result. Well, Saturday racing this week in Hong Kong, and the first race we're going to take a look at is race 4, and here the winning factor, the draw. Well, this is quite an open race, quite a few winning chances, and Blake Shin gets a nice ride here on London Hall. Zac Purton gets onto Amazing Satchmo, suited by a return to Sha Tin, and there's a good case to be made, I think, for horses down in the weights like Savvy 7 and Little General, and the race probably doesn't end there either, so quite a few chances. But the two I'm keenest to examine further are Amazing Satchmo and Little General. And first of all, we're going to take a look at some statistics here, because it's actually quite a rare event that Zac Purton rides for David Ferraris, a stable that has been in good form recently. But you can see here, since April last year, Zac has only had 12 rides for the David Ferraris stable, 3 of them winners, and he's 1 from 1 for the yard this season. And we certainly take note whenever he hooks up with a David Ferraris trained horse. And David probably didn't have too much trouble talking Zac into riding Amazing Satchmo after the horse's latest run at Happy Valley. Now we're going to take a look at that race, 117, and you see him here. He's in green and yellow colours. He's midway or part the way through the field, and a little bit keen for Karis Teton in the mid-race. But you see around the 700, a few horses take off around the outside, and Karis wants to go with them. But he runs into some trouble round about the 550 metre mark, where a lot of horses get knocked out of the race, including Amazing Satchmo. Now, he managed to gather himself up again and get balanced, but he's quite a big, long striding horse. That doesn't happen easily, and he did quite a good job to get going again and runs on late in the race to finish just off the placings. So he looks a serious winning chance in the race, but so too does Little General. And I think the wheel of fortune has finally come the way of this Danny Shum trained 4-year-old. And we're going to take a look at how fortune has treated him at the barrier draw in recent times. And if you look at this graphic now, his recent runs all from double figure draws. We have to go back to April, the last time that Little General had the inside. He had gate 1 on this occasion. And we're going to take a look at the replay of that race last season, and who did he bump into here but Band of Brothers. So he had a good draw here, Little General, performed very well for second, but ran into a horse who's probably just a bit better than this class of race. So Little General's been trying manfully from those wide gates, never too far away, but this time from gate 4, as we have a look at the map, he's going to get a much easier run in the earlier stages. He will be on the pace. In fact, it's a race without a lot of speed. He could even be the leader here without doing too much work to get there. And I think that's certainly going to help him to find the line strongly at the business end of proceedings. So the tip in race 4, Little General. His winning factor, the draw. I think his main rival, Amazing Satchmo, also has a good draw. But Little General should be an improved horse for having the inside this time, and with the lightweight, he's going to have a head start on his major rival, and I think that could give him the edge. The other race we're going to take a look at this week is race 6, class 4, 1400 metres, and our winning factor here, the tempo. And looking across the field, this looks a 2-cornered contest to me. We have Destin, a very consistent horse for the Zac Purton-Paul O'Sullivan combination, a great pairing over the years. And John Size has handed a welcome opportunity to Regan Bayliss, who keeps the ride on Super Alliances. Now, it's quite a while since Destin has finished out of the placings in a race. He's going about as well as he has ever gone. And we're going to take a look at his most recent effort. And on this occasion, in race 145, he drew wide. He got a long way back from the gate. You'll see him in the last couple of runners 3 weeks ago in a similar style of race, green and blue colours. But you'll see him get to the outside and sustain a very long, strong run finishing off the race full of purpose and getting into second in the final stages. Meanwhile, Super Alliance has prepped for this race by finishing only 6th, but there's a couple of things I want to point out in that race. As we go to the replay now, in race 162, you'll see he's here in lightish sort of colours, whitish kind of colours, and he presses forward early from an awkward gate, finds a good spot, but the pace wasn't all that strong in the very early stages of this, and Super Alliance, as you can see him tossing his head about, fighting against the rider in the early part. And I think when we got to the business end of the race, that took its toll, and he was pretty tame finishing off over the final 200 metres. But if we go back to his first start in a race, Super Alliances, this is race 106 we're going to look at now, and you'll see in a 1200 metre race with a more solid tempo, he relaxes beautifully here. He follows the winner, Big Fortune. Now this form, of course, has been franked. Big Fortune was certainly beaten last week. And Super Alliances is very strong, getting to the line, holding his ground, maybe even taking a little ground off the winner in the final 150 metres, and looking like he wants the 1400 metres. When we take a look at the map here, this time Super Alliances drawn better. That will make things easier for him. But I also want you to take a look at the horses we have designated on the map here as the leaders. Look Eras, quite a quick horse, even over 1,000 metres, and Circuit Hassler, a horse who likes to bowl along in the lead. So both of these horses should ensure that we get a good solid tempo. Now that's going to help Destin, who will likely get back a long way from his wide draw, but I think it'll also help Super Alliances get a similar run to the one that he had first up at 1,200 metres, and this time going to the 1,400 metres for the second time. He should get a pace good enough to help him relax and settle and find the line a bit better than he did last time. So the tip in race 6, Super Alliances, his winning factor, the tempo. I think he'll have a good head start on Amazing Satchmo here. I think he'll relax better with a more consistent tempo with the leaders we've got in this race, and that's going to be the decisive factor for him. Well, that's it from the winning factor for this week. Good luck on Saturday. We'll catch you next time.